Check. Video, obviously check. And the laptop is currently recording. So we should be synced. And I have my music right here. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emmanuel, and today we're going to be learning about Cocoapods. And we're going to see how to install it. We're going to see how to use it to install third-party libraries or dependencies, okay? So before we actually get started, I'd like to point out that this video is meant to create awareness about the protest that's currently going on in Nigeria to stop police brutality and just end SARS, all right? Now, if you're not in support, you should be, all right? Just lend your voice in any way you can, all right? It's going to be helpful. So let's actually go into programming. So if you have Cocoapods installed, then you can just skip the video to where the main thing happens. If you don't, then just go ahead. It's very simple. We're going to use two commands and you're all set. So the first thing we're going to need to do, first of all, open your terminal and then write sudo gem install Cocoapods, just like that. Now, it's going to ask for a password. Just enter the password to your system. So mine is, I'm going to tell you. So when you do that, it's going to start the installation. I already have it installed, so it's going to be pretty fast. Yours might take some time. So just sit back, listen to some cool music. All right. So mine is done. Let's go on to the second command, which is pod setup. And then verbose is simply just to show you the steps that are being executed. All right. Now, when you're done, setup is complete. We can actually go into the main flavor of today. I don't know. So create a new project, a single view application, and let's get started. Now, this is what we're going to be building. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, this is to create awareness about the protest that's going on. So we're going to build this application. You can see the launch screen has hashtag end SARS and police brutality. Okay. And you can also see the Nigerian flag, right? And then respect. So we're going to be building this as our launch screen, and after this we're going to have a main page that simply has different pictures of the protest. Okay, now these pictures are online, so we're going to be using the library we're going to install to load those images from the web to our app. Pretty cool, right? So let's actually get started. Now I have my project right here, and if you head over to the assets folder, you can see I have just two pictures, Nigerian flag and the background image. Now both these images can be found in the link in the description, so if you want to follow along, then just go ahead, download the images and put them in your assets folder, and let's get started. I've said get started many times. Anyways, let's get started now. So the first thing we're going to do is to design the launch screen. I actually like the design. I hope it's good. Let me know if you think different. So launch screen, first of all, we're going to add the respect background image. So just add an image view like that. Click, drag. You can do like this. So I'm going to add constraints to the bottom, 0, 0, 0, and then add the image. So this is launch image. I'm going to make this aspect fill just so it grows, and I don't want the white background like that. And this is good. Next, I want to get rid of this white and just use the same color of this color as this, so it just creates like a blend. All right. So I'm going to click on the background, select this, click on custom, click on this pencil right here, or drop it, I don't know, pip it, and then click right here. All right. Pretty seamless, isn't it? And easy. Good. So this step is cool. Next, we're going to add the text to the screen. So drag a label, and we're going to write hash and just this, because I want to paint this red because it's very important. You need to stop. So I'm just going to select the red like this, and we're going to increase the font to, let me see, is this okay? Yeah, this should be good. And I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm holding down Alt and click, drag, and I'm going to write police brutality. Hope I got the spelling. Change the font to white like this, and this is okay. So I'm going to use a stack view to just align these things easily. So click right here and stack view, and that's it. Pretty cool. So we can actually duplicate this so that we can implement the nope, not this one. Well, just click over here like that. And we're going to end what this time? SARS. Good. So I'm going to put both of these in the single stack view like that. All right. Now let's add a little spacing to them. This guy, let's put spacing of about, let's say 20 pixels. All right. And let's make sure this guy is 0. Cool. So I'm going to center this stack view horizontally. So hold down Control, click, and like this. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to add the Nigerian flag first, and that is an image view, if you didn't know. So bring another image view like this. Okay. So let's add the flag. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is okay, I guess. So I can do this, give a width and a height, and yeah, just add that and center this vertically this time. Just gotta move it upward. Okay, this is cool. And then I'm gonna anchor this guy to the bottom of the flag. So click like this, and well, you could just use 24 because it looks good. And our launch screen is complete. Very easy, very beautiful. All right. Now we're gonna go to the main view, which is our main.storyboard. And like I said, what we want to do here is to have images that are being displayed. So you click on the next button, it shows the next image. Click on the previous button, it shows the previous image. So what do we need? A label? Nope. An image view. So I'm going to drag an image view, and I'm going to make this go all across the screen. Shoot. To the end like this. Right. Now, I want us to use the same background as the launch screen because I don't know, I like it. So I'm going to click on the view, this, and scroll to the top and just use this. All right, pretty cool. Now let's add both two buttons, next and previous. So button, I'm not going to style this too much just because of time. This isn't the main reason for this video. So I'll just put this like this. So this one is going to be, well, great. This one is going to be, let's call it priv, like this. And we're going to give it a background color of white and a text color of, well, let's use this one. And background of white. Cool. And let's give this a width and a height. So width is going to be, let's see what 100 looks like. Well, let's say 70, and a height of about 40. Cool. And we're going to do the same thing for the next button. Now I'm going to add both of these to a stack view. So this, and it's well aligned. So the next thing I'm going to do is to actually align this guy and center it horizontally, and then add constraint to the bottom. There's a lot of constraints being done here. Well, let's just do 30. And that's it. We have our previous button, we have our next button. Let's just add a little bit corner radius to this. So I'm going to go here and add corner radius. And this is a number. I'm going to set this as, let's say 5. Copy, and let's paste this here. I'm going to see what this looks like in a bit. But we can actually do that now. So I'm running the program, and let's see what we have. Okay, looks very nice. Looks very nice, I guess. So that's our launch screen, and this is our main app. Pretty cool, I like it. So now what we want here is to display images of different protests or different parts, different places where the protest took place. So actually have an array of a lot of URLs to different images online. So I'm going to go to the view controller and I'm just going to paste this right at the bottom. Okay, so you can see different images online. I just got them off Google. So we just want to display all of these images in our app. Okay, so first of all, we need reference to our image view. So I'm going to say at ib what outlet and weak var, and we're going to call this let's just call it image view. It's going to be of type UI image view. Okay, so let's actually connect this in our storyboard. So head back to your main.storyboard, and so you can right click here, then you can see image view, just click, drag like this. And actually we need to connect both of these buttons. So let's just do this quickly. Open up the assistant editor, and did I do something wrong? Maybe I'll let var image view. Well, we're gonna find that later on. So let's just draw outlets for previous, and this is going to be priv button clicked. I'm going to copy this, duplicate, and this is going to be next button clicked. So let's just drag this here. Alright, now let's head back to our view controller. And what was the problem I was complaining about? I can't even see it anymore. But yes, we have this. And this is where we're going to do some few things. Now to the main topic of today. How do we install pods? It's very easy, believe me, it's very easy. So what we need to do is open up our terminal like this, and so we need to make sure we're in the directory of our project. So I'm going to write cd, and then you need to get the path or write the path. So this is my project right here. Right click, hold down Alt, you can see copy this as path name. I'm going to copy that and paste, enter. What did I do? Oh, sorry, just say cd, put this in quotes, and paste. So now we are inside of our project, and you can see we stand as the project. So what we need to do here, let me just clear this. The first thing we need to do here is to initialize pod. And how do we do that? We say pod init. Very simple. And this is going to create a file called pod file. So I'm going to open this, and you can see here we have a file called pod file. So you can just open this up using whatever editor you want. So I'm going to use XCode because I like XCode. So this is where we specify the pods or the dependencies that we're going to be using in our project. Okay, so right here, what I'm going to do is write pod, and then within our quotes, I'm going to write the name of the library I want to use. Now, there are actually a lot of pods available, and you can actually go to the cocoapods.org and basically just search for whatever pod you want. Now, for this video, we're going to be using the Kingfisher. Okay, so I'm going to write Kingfisher here, and just click. So you can just go through and just basically search for whatever library you want. And if you remember, or if you haven't watched my video, there was one we made in a couple of videos back, macro validator. So you can see it right here. Pretty neat, right? So if you haven't watched the video, you can go ahead and watch. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you see how you can make yours and share it to the rest of the world. Okay, so how do we use Kingfisher? Right here, we simply need to write Kingfisher like that. And next thing we need to do is to install our pod. So let's get back to our terminal and write pod install. And this is going to start installing all our dependencies. As you can see now, Kingfisher is installed. Now whenever you do this, you need to actually close your Xcode because we're going to be running the workspace rather than the project. So if you go back to our folder right here, you can see now we have a new file, westand.xc workspace. Now this is what we're going to be running because this now includes our pod. So if you look over here, you're going to see pod, and then if you open this, you can see Kingfisher. Okay, so you're going to have to run the workspace. All right, now you can hold down Command and B just to make sure everything still works fine. And if it does, we can continue with our video. Otherwise, I don't know what we're going to do. Debug. So everything is good. So now let's actually implement the functionality. So for previous button, we want to do something. We want to load the previous image. So what we're going to need here is an index. So I'm going to have a variable that holds the current index, and initially this is going to be equal to 0. Okay, next, whenever you click on the previous button, what we want to do is to decrement the value of current index. So we're going to say current index minus equals 1. But before we do this, we need to make sure that the current index isn't already 0. So we're going to add a guard statement right here and say current index is greater than 0. Else we want to return. So we want to come here only if the current index is greater than 0. Now when this is done, we're going to need to set the value of the image view. So using the library we just got, first we need to import it. So import Kingfisher. And right here, what I'm going to do is say image view dot kf dot set image, and we're going to say width and pass in a URL. Now this URL is going to be the URL that is in our dictionary right here. So it's called gallery image URLs. So I'm going to write gallery image URLs, and we're going to pass in a what? Current index. All right, pretty neat. So this is going to generate a URL, and this is going to set the image. Now I want to add an activity indicator to this image view. So I'm going to say image view dot kf dot what's this called again? Indicator type, and this is going to be equal to dot activity. Now you can actually go through the pod and just look through and see all of the functions that are available for the library you're going to be using. Okay, so this does it. This should set the image. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for the next button, but our guard statement is going to be checking if the current index is less than the length of our array. So gallery images dot count. It has to be less than that before it does it. And actually not just less than, but less than the count minus 1. Okay? Because this gallery this dot count minus 1 is the last element. That's the last element in the array. So we need it to be less than the last element, not the last element. Okay? So here we're going to be adding 1, and we're going to be doing the same thing. So you could actually refactor this, since this and this is the same thing. So you can just write cleaner code, or well, let's just do it. So we're going to create a function. We can make this a private func and say set image. Now this is going to take in both of these lines of code, and I'm going to replace this with set image, replace this with set image. All right, so everything seems good. The last thing we're going to do is to actually call this function when the app loads, so that it adds an image at the beginning of the launch. So let's go ahead and run this. I don't know if I was running on 11 Pro, I think 11. So let's run it and see what we have. Meanwhile, dance, dance, dance. Okay, so you can see that the image actually loaded. Whoa, It's been a bad boy. So we can click on next, and we have the second image loaded, but the activity indicator isn't showing. So we're gonna have to fix that right now. Maybe it's masked or something. So we're gonna correct that. But now, if you click on previous, you can see that this is here, and we are using our library, and this is actually cached. So the second time it didn't have to load anymore, or well, load from the internet. So next, you can see we have the third one. And you can just see different images of the protest that is currently going on. Okay, so lend your voice if you can, in any way you can. And this actually brings us to the end of the video. I don't want to take much time, but if you have questions, go ahead, leave it in the comment section. You can go through all of the images and just see what is happening. You can open up YouTube and just see what is going on, okay? So till next week, guys.